Relaxation Seekers. My name is Cinephile ASMR, and today we are continuing my series where I show you everything that I own in my collection. So of course this is, I think at this point, part 3. If you have not already, you need to check out my part 1, where I sort of discuss all of the rare boutique label things that I own in my collection, and then part 2, where I tell you all about the DVDs that I own. I haven't really shown you the full spread. This is typically where I film every video, but I also have that whole other movie shelf that I was able to get through. I have a total of 3 movie shelves. So we got through the one. We're going to do now my regular Blu-rays and 4Ks, starting in alphabetical order. From A, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows that we're going to get through. And then we're going to do this beast to my right, maybe to your left, depending on how it is projected. It's going to be a lot. It took me 2 videos and quite a few hours, I think maybe a total of almost 3 hours to do my entire shelf there. And I'm going to be really honest, well, before we do that, I'm Cinephile ASMR, your go-to one-stop shop for all things movies, video games, pop culture, horror stories, Reddit stories, and relaxation in between. So please, my friends, if you have not already, consider subscribing, hitting that notification bell, commenting any and all thoughts that you have. And of course, if you don't already, follow me on my both Letterboxd and TikTok. TikTok, I do a lot more of the shorter form videos for convenience sake. I upload there almost every day. And then my Letterboxd, I love it. I get to log and write my reviews in a much more eloquently stated, fleshed out, typed way. It's a great alternative to not hearing me yap. Now that we got that out of the way, I will say this series is very daunting. I did it years ago, and that was a mess, and I abandoned it. And I convinced myself, I told myself this year, I'm gonna revamp it, complete it, say that I've done it. But every time, like clockwork, I'd start the video, the gears are turning, but I spend way too much time on the movies, and by the end, I just want to jump into my bed like a Looney Tunes character floating to pie. So here's what we're gonna do. I have a lot of ground to cover with all of these movies. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically say a brief excerpt of my thoughts on each of the films that I own. No more than 2 to 4 sentences, depending on the project. Give my rating, and we move on. Because I think for my sanity, for the relaxation, and just the betterment of this video, I don't want to spend too much time. And again, if you have any questions or you want any clarification or insight into furthering my thoughts on any of these movies, comment below. I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. So again, from these 5 rows, I know you can only really see 1, 2, and 3, but we have 2 more rows below here. It goes from A to about the very beginning of I, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. 9 letters. And this, that's a beast that we'll tackle another day. But enough of my yapping. I say, let's get started. Forgive the creaky stool that I have. I've had this for years. But starting things off, we have, what a great way to start actually, The Abyss. The Abyss to me is one of James Cameron's more slept on movies. This 4K, I know a lot of people complained about the smoothing of the faces in the upgrade. I thought it looked excellent. This comes with the director's cut, or the extended cut. Yeah, that's 30 minutes longer. It's amazing. I think the special edition is the way to go. I still need to rewatch it though after many years of absence. Right now it's an A-. I think it can very well jump to an A. What a crazy guy. He loves the ocean. Next up, we have the Adjustment Bureau. Really, really slept on romance thriller. Matt Damon, Emily Blunt, they rock in this movie. The concept is such a unique elevator pitch. I think it pays off in the end. I'm gonna give it a B plus because I don't think all of it works, and it gets a bit too lost in its concept enough to where I'm like, okay, let's get back to the romance. But still, I thoroughly enjoy it. A movie that, like, I've put on to many people, and shockingly, they've never even heard of it. And then next up, one of my favorite comfort films, we have Adventureland. This is the, I want to say, third film in director Greg Matola's filmography, with Superbad coming right before this. It will always hold a very sentimental place in my heart. I did a video about films that changed my life, and this summer that I watched Adventureland, I think is something that will spring further in effect, even more than it has for me now. Great shot on film. The chemistry between Kristen Stewart and Jesse Eisenberg is so palpable and strong. I always say they came back together to do another movie, American Ultra, another great A-letter title movie. This is getting an A+. I love this movie. Also, Ryan Reynolds is really freaking good in this. I miss Ryan Reynolds before, like, the ego kind of took over. That's another topic for a different day. Next, we have A24's After Yang. This comes from a filmmaker by the name of Coconata. Colin Farrell, what's her name? Jodie Turner-Smith, I believe her name is. Yeah, Jodie Turner-Smith. Family in the future has a robot that helps and assists the family that just one day shuts off. And they have to kind of reckon with themselves and not crutch and use the robot. It's a really brilliant, tragic, but also healing film. Coconata, essayist turned filmmaker. He has a movie actually that we will be talking about, or I did talk about, I'm sorry, called Columbus, that I adore. This film is equally as human. I'm giving it an A-. Nothing wrong, just I like to save A's and A+'s. Next, we have the original Alien. This is the director's cut, the 2003 version, on one of the greatest 4K transfers there ever is. I'm so appreciative to own this. I mean, I will always be an Alien over Aliens person. It's brilliant. Got to see it in 35mm at the Egyptian in Los Angeles, double billed with Romulus. And despite my thoughts, which I really do enjoy Romulus, but I definitely have thoughts, it will be a cemented Hall of Fame worthy experience. A+, no doubt. So good. The way that, like, Sigourney Weaver, through, like, elimination of the crew, becomes the final girl without, like, the film kind of painting her as it before. Chef's kiss. And then, keeping in line with that, we have the Alien quadrilogy. This came out, I think, right before Prometheus, so it only has Alien, Aliens, Alien 3 with the assembly cut, and Alien Resurrection. Rewatching all the Alien films leading up to Romulus, there is not a single bad Alien film. I'm not going to say my thoughts on all of these, I'll just rank them for you. I'm trying to think. Last place is, and again, we can debate in the comments, Prometheus didn't work for me on a rewatch at all, and considering that I think Covenant is a brilliant top 3 Alien film, I would say after that it's Aliens. I really did not fall in love with the action-heavy sequel that sort of, in my opinion, ruins a lot of the lust and allure and the draw to Ellen Ripley by making her the archetypal mother figure. I thought what were so well fleshed out and intriguing in the first was because it broke all those kind of conventions. Action's great though. And then after that, I would probably say Alien Resurrection, underrated gonzo action. After that, oh, that's tough. Because I would probably, because everything after Resurrections, I devoutly love. My top three would be Alien, then probably Covenant, then the assembly cut of Alien 3. People sleep on that so heavily, like it actually breaks my damn heart. I think I said all of them. Yeah, I know, crazy ranking. And that kind of like leads me to not have to say too much about this one. Covenant, excellent, excellent, excellent. I used to be an avid like Ridley Scott hater because this existing meant that Neil Blomkamp's Alien didn't. But then I ponied up, rewatched it. The ideas, the nihilism. This film is so bleak. It's one of the greatest looking blockbusters, especially sci-fi blockbusters, in the past 15 years. I'm really sad that we'll never get to see the completed Ridley Scott trilogy, especially with David and Fassbender. Like, God, so good. A+. For sure. I guess as well, so like, Alien A+, Aliens a B, Alien Assembly Cut A-, Alien Resurrection a B to a B+, Prometheus a C+, and then Alien Covenant's like an almost, I would say like an A-, A. Romulus don't own, B to B+, depending on what you ask me. Next up, the movie that I really do pray one day we get the sequel for. I love Robert Rodriguez. This, again, is the closest we'll get to the footsteps of a society healing and following the Wachowski sisters from Speed Racer. It translates from anime to live action so well. The action's great. Writing, obviously, isn't the greatest, but it works. Like, I think there's such a charm and an endearment to it. B+, man. So good. I'm loving the embracing of cyberpunk aesthetic. You know, I've talked about this. I actually talked about it in my last video about comfort movies. Almost Famous. Just rewatched Jerry Maguire. I miss Cameron Crowe. I miss him so much. I'll say that for a second. Great energy, great time. Watch the bootleg cut. It's like 40 minutes longer, but it's an even longer quilt to wrap you in and just be lost in it. It's incredible. I could watch this every day. Also the 4K, astonishing. But I was reserving my thoughts about missing Cameron Crowe because his last movie, Aloha, people despised, and I think that's actually insane. Again, it has been years since I've seen this movie, but I've seen it multiple times, and I love it. It's odd, it's quaint, it's intimate, it's beautiful. I think everyone here is such a good talent. I mean, Emma Stone, Bradley Cooper, Rachel McAdams, John Krasinski, Alec Baldwin, Bill Murray. Guys, come on for a second. I'm trying to see who shot this because I do remember really thinking this movie was so well shot. I don't know who that is. Hey, great movie though. Great movie. A-. That could change though. Again, I have not seen this in years. But moving on, we have Ambulance. A movie that when I saw, I enjoyed, but it took time for it to grow and to expand in my brain. And the more it did, the more I loved it. I've gotten to really appreciate and even respect a lot of Michael Bay's creative choices. Nobody really is swinging quite like him. I'm excited to see what he does next. I hope it isn't just Transformer stuff, because this movie bangs. B+. People who didn't tap in when it came out in theaters, you guys are weak-willed. Such a fun freaking time. Next we have American Honey. This is, to me, I guess if you ask me, like, what are some of the greatest shot movies of all time, there's a DP named Robbie Ryan. So much of this movie hinges off of this naturalistic approach that everything kind of feels almost like it's a documentary, handheld. It goes throughout rural America, and it's amazing. Andrea Arnold, I believe, yeah, is the director of this. She is a force. This movie's wonderful. Shia LaBeouf, Riley Keough, Sasha Lane. Yeah, Sasha Lane. If you've never seen American Honey, this is a pretty transformative film, and it is 2 hours and 42 minutes, so do with that as you will. A+. A+. Next we have Alex Garland's second directing effort, Annihilation. A really good to great with brilliant scene film for the first, like, 2.5 thirds of it. I will always recommend this movie off of the basis that the last 15 minutes in sound, score, and look, I think are all about what the 21st century does for sci-fi. It is spellbinding. It is so engrossing. Not to say that I don't love the stuff that comes before it, but I definitely think, like, the movie is made for me in its ending. It looks wonderful. Shot by Rob Hardy, not Tom Hardy. There's like a lot of like Hardys, I'm like thinking, in the industry. It's great though. Natalie Portman, you cannot go wrong. It's a terrific cast as well. I do think Alex Garland works his best magic in sci-fi when he writes the scripts and not directs them. Just a pattern behavior. B+. Oh, and we got a beefy boy next. Oh, snap. Alright. Here we have My Apocalypse Now 4K that comes with the 3 versions, the theatrical, the final cut, and the redux. Maybe the greatest transfer ever. I mean, what else is there to say? I have not seen this movie in years, but it's obviously an A+. I've only ever seen the final cut. If I should check out the redux, which is a little longer, let me know. One of my dreams is to catch this on film in the big screen. I mean, any movie that quite literally makes someone almost go insane and lose their marbles, like, it's worth it. Art is sacrifice and losing your mind. Incredible though, incredible stuff. I have to be careful though because it is like sleeved, and I want to make sure that I'm putting it back correctly. Okay. And then following peak cinema with peak cinema, Aquaman. I will forever defend this movie. Funny enough, and this is coming from someone who is a Superman adorer. I love James Gunn's Superman. It's my 3rd favorite movie of the year. But I will say that a lot of people are saying, like, that is the first, like, really true comic booky looking and feeling movie in years. But I feel like Aquaman is kind of doing the same thing. The look of the movie, it commits to the absurdity, but it has such a beautiful color palette. Sure, some of the acting and the script. Oh, there's a line in this movie that is said by Black Manta where it's like, you don't teach me how to bow as long as, he's like, don't teach me how to pirate and I won't teach you how to bow or something. It's one of the worst lines of dialogue I've ever seen in a movie, but it works because it's Aquaman. I love it. James Wan has not failed. I will not watch Aquaman 2 despite me being so excited for it. It just doesn't seem like his movie, but Warner Brothers, it's getting a B+. Great cinema. I'm just kind of like laughing at the fact that follows up Apocalypse Now. Ooh, next, we have a film that was my favorite Denis Villeneuve movie. Is one of the greatest sci-fi movies. And when I rewatched it, I didn't like it as much. And I know that's kind of like sacrilegious to say. Even saying it, I'm kind of losing my mind. I think when you know where it goes, it is just a one and done movie for me. And unfortunately, I think the screenplay really does not do service to any of the cast outside of Amy Adams, where I feel like they're playing such archetypal roles in their characters. And this is hard, it breaks my heart because I rewatched it in prep for Dune 2. And I want to say it probably is my least favorite Villeneuve. I still really enjoy it. I think the movie looks great. The score is my favorite part of the movie. Rest in peace, the composer. But yeah, it's getting like a B. And again, still a really good movie. But one that I was ready to go out of the gate giving it like an A+, but lo and behold, I didn't. Next up, underrated banger, Art of Self-Defense. Dark, crass, dour comedy, Jesse Eisenberg learning to self-defend himself. It is a sadistic comedy. Laughed my ass off though. A-, for sure, A-. Another film that I think you can laugh at, maybe even cry at. We have Wes Anderson's Asteroid City. Top 3 Wes Anderson for me. I do not understand people who say this is a bad movie. I sobbed in this movie. A really great meditation of an artist examining the art that they're making, the intent, the purpose behind it, especially draped behind loss and grief. A+. Oh, next. We have banger after banger after banger. Attack the Block. This involves a lot of the same people who did the Cornetto trilogy, like Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, The World's End, has that sort of dry British humor, an alien invasion film where a bunch of teenagers have to defend their block, led by John Boyega, pre-Finn from Star Wars. The alien design in this movie is exceptional. I love it. I love this film. I mean, I know they were talking about doing a sequel. We'll see. It's getting an A. Next, I actually think I can combine these next 4 films into batches of 2. I have Avengers Endgame. Avengers is the best Avengers movie. Endgame is a great time. The more I watch it, the less I like it. A+, without a doubt. B+, without a doubt. I wish I loved this more. I actually think my ranking of the Avengers films, which I know people would kind of consider sacrilegious, would be like Avengers, Age of Ultron, Endgame, then Infinity War. I don't think Infinity War is all that, guys. I think it's fun, but I think it's set dressing for what I really appreciate, which is Endgame, and I think the first third of Endgame is by far the best out of those 2 movies. Again, I'm more of like a slow down, let's have these characters be characters instead of the super taking over. I know that's for some reason a take, but yeah. And the next, we have both Avatar and Way of Water. So, I like Avatar. I think Avatar is fun, trailblazer, spectacle, reinventing action, visual effects, but it doesn't hook me on an emotional level. And for some reason, I really do think Sam Worthington is not the greatest in it. But the moment you change him from being this lone wolf into a father, like it 180'd for me. His performance performance is amazing. Seeing Way of Water in theaters like 4 times when it came out, I cannot wait for them to re-release it for Fire and Ash. The first one gets a B, second one gets an A+. I adore Way of Water. I think it just works on a way that I think we as a society need. A movie that just is a love letter to the world around us, despite, obviously it's not our world, but it echoes sentiments, obviously, of how profound and gorgeous the world is. And it's a great story. Courage is being set up as a crazy bad in Fire and Ash. I always forget because I know it's called like the Seed Bearer or something. I don't know. I'm so excited though. Alright, friends, and then to finish, I want to make sure those movies do not fall. Please do not fall. Okay, perfect. Baby Driver, we've gone from the A's to the B's. A film that, when I had watched it 14 years old, I really loved. And I'm not going to say it's a style over substance movie because I think the substance is found within the style, and I really don't buy into that sentiment. Because I think it creates unnecessary divides where film is both a synthesis of style and substance in other ways. But I think, there is, as I've gotten older, just different things that I look for in movies. But I can seriously appreciate the rhythm, the timing, the look. The guy who shot this Bill Pope did, like Scott Pilgrim, did the Matrix films, did Spider-Man 2 and 3. Where the hell has he gone? He literally is credited for, like, shooting Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. We need to get, like, whichever demon is piloting him and get him back into his own flesh, man. B+. And you will see a trend that, like, for the most part, I'm gonna rate these movies pretty high. I've purchased some not so good movies in my time, but typically, like, I just donate them. So, yeah, and I also make room because I'm always buying new stuff. So, onto the second row. Ooh, Gas Bag, Fire Flame. The world hated on me when I said that The Bad Guys was the best DreamWorks film of 2022, the same year that Last Wish came out. I stand on it. In a post-Spider-Verse world, animation taking inspiration from it has been the best thing I think the medium could have asked for. I think it's great, the cast, Sam Rockwell. If we won't get him nearly enough in live action, getting him in animated is all I could ask for. So I'm definitely going to give The Bad Guys an A-. It's a really great time, and I think people really did sleep on it, despite there being a sequel. And I have not seen the sequel myself, but, maybe one day I'll check it out. Next up, we have In a Sharp Left Turn, The Banshees of Inisherin. A great, really different movie than what I thought I was going to get. Colin Farrell, what's his name? Brendan Gleeson, Barry Keoghan, Carrie Condon, in this friendship that turns into animosity and a rivalry that is a lot more sad than I thought it was going to be. Great movie, one that I think give me a couple years and I'll reevaluate, but for now it's a B+. Some terrific performances all around. Alright, and then the next one we have The Batman. Now, what I will admit is breaking my heart is talking about this, and as of the recording of this video, the DP is maybe not even going to be shooting part 2. And I'm obviously such a visual heavy person when it comes to movie appreciation. This may, the argument could be said, be the greatest live action looking comic book movie, with its only real competitors being like Spider-Man or like honestly any of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. Maybe if you threw in The Dark Knight. But I think this movie is exceptional. It really balances that tone of dark, broody, gothic architecture and the mood, but also it is silly. Like, oh man, I would give my left kidney for The Batman Part 2. I'll catch you in a couple years and see if this video holds up with me professing I think it's going to be better than this. A+. And it is a Halloween movie. Amazing film. Amazing film. Next, I can combine these two movies because they are the same. We have the 4K IMAX ratio enhanced Batman v Superman and the Blu-ray. The only reason why I still have the Blu-ray is because it has the special features, and this does not. I love this film. I think it feels more and more just tiring to not just, like, it's not even like from a defending standpoint, but just talk about Zack Snyder stuff, because I think rightfully so, people are just burnt out, because a lot of it, they're defenders. I don't even want to get into the can of worms, but what I will say, there is no other filmmaker who is making films on the scale that Snyder is, that cares so deeply about the physical body and the way that he can frame it, paint it, light it, illuminate it. I do wish he would stop shooting his films and get someone like Larry Fong, who they did like Sucker Punch, Watchmen, Batman v Superman, and the idea of a god amongst man in this world, I think is done perfectly. A+. I'm gonna stand on it, guys. Peace and love, but I gotta speak my truth. Next, we have Big Hero 6. A lot of fun, great song, great memories from 2014. Baymax is adorable. B. I was gonna say B+, but I think I'm more satisfied with a B. Next, we have The Big Lebowski. A lot of fun. Funny enough, though, as I am getting a little bit ever so more immersed into the Coen brothers filmography, I think it's my least favorite, but I'm saying that off of having only seen this once, like 5 years ago. I'll rewatch it because the way that people talk about it, I think I just missed something. So right now it's a B, but with a question mark and like 3 dots, kind of a teasing that it could be something different. Next, we have the 2014 Best Picture winner, Birdman. I really do think 2014 was the year that kind of birthed like my intrigue for film, because it was the year that like The Imitation Game, Whiplash, Birdman, Interstellar, The Theory of Everything, all that, just all these great movies that came out, and they really started to like make me question why I loved film, what about it works for me, and I do think this deserved the Best Picture. A+. Anyone who doesn't think it deserved the Best Picture, or they think Whiplash deserved Best Picture, again, my least favorite Chazelle, but one that I still think is an A-tier movie. Birdman deserved that, and then some. Let's be so honest with ourselves, guys. Next up, such a slept-on comic book movie, Birds of Prey. I got this for like $7 at Target back when they used to sell movies. So good, so good. A splash page, like a comic book brought to life. I think this movie is so, like, it does not nearly get the love it deserves. Ewan McGregor as the villain of this film, he is having a blast. I unfortunately think the toxicity in comic book spaces really prevented this movie from ever having a shot at success. Breaks my heart because it deserved it. A-. God, people are so harsh sometimes. Next, we have one of the most influential movies, I think, of the decade, Black Panther. Excellent. Despite, I think, there being issues, obviously the CGI, the what's his name? Everett Ross stuff, I think that's what his name is, right? The guy who played the Hobbit, Martin Freeman. Yeah, I don't know. It definitely will not tell me. But it's the same issue that I have with Wakanda Forever, which is there is a truly brilliant movie that I wish wish existed outside of the confines of being in the MCU. Exceptional stuff, though. I'm gonna give it like an A. It is my least favorite Ryan Coogler movie. But even then, man, like, the intuition and the faith that you have to have as a filmmaker to make something like that, incredible. Now this next double billing, Blade Runner 2049. What a wonderful double feature to have. I do think I prefer the original Blade Runner over 2049. Yeah, I think like if I watch both and I come out of them, I would probably see 2049, but like for longer lasting effect, for longevity, for impact longer term, I gotta go with the original. I love 2049. It's a whole different beast. The stuff at the beginning with Dave Bautista, I think should be taught in film schools for how to do an opening right. They're both A+ movies, and it's like picking a favorite child. Yeah, I again, 2049 had no right being as great as it was, but there's something so special about the timelessness of the original Blade Runner that I cannot simply deny. Next we have Blindspotting, Daveed Diggs, Raphael Casal, a movie that really opened my brain to what the world fails at, to what the world does and illustrates in communities, and what my privilege in so many different capacities lends towards. And all to say, like, it has some damning statements, but it's also so beautiful, so kind, so tender. I wish more movies were like this, you know? Expertly crafted, heartbreaking, but necessary and fundamental for informative reasons alone. I'm giving it an A. I'm liking this momentum, friends. I'm really liking this momentum. I really don't want to talk much about this because I forget that I kind of even own it. You can see it has like a yellow sticker on there. I got this at a video rental store right before they closed 5, 6, maybe even 7 years ago. And it's unfortunate. The whole separating the art from the artist thing is impossible. And I think it's because like I always am so intrigued by an artist's intent, and knowing that a set or project was made out of love adds a layer of appreciation for me. I will say Cate Blanchett is terrific. It's been so long since I've seen it. I'm gonna give it a B. Yeah, Woody Allen, you're a freaking freak though, dude. You're crazy. Next, who would have thunk? Olivia Wilde. Her debut comes out to be like up there for me. Wait, why are we so dark? My fault, chat. I hope we weren't like this dark this whole time. I'm sorry. But yeah, Olivia Wilde came out the gate swinging, lost the sauce with Don't Worry, Darling. But I love this movie. I think I've seen it like 4 times. Great debut, great chemistry. Beanie Feldstein, Caitlin Dever, great soundtrack. I do love this movie. I actually think, again, another film shot, quite a few films we've already mentioned, by, yeah, a DP named Matthew Libatique. That guy, oh my god. Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna give it an A. I'm gonna definitely give this an A. Next, a magical film, The Box. A couple gets a box received in the mail that has a button. If they press it, they'll get $1 million, but at the expense of one person in the world dying the moment they press it. A lot of moral quandaries presented, but I think it really illustrates the fallacy of what a nuclear family and what a community can do, you know, in a very kind of similar vein of like Weapons this year, of what a promise of a better tomorrow can mean at the expense of selfish greed and whatever it takes for a sense of safety to be had. It is brilliant. I pray that Richard Kelly, Donnie Darko, Southland Tales can come back. The man knows what he's doing. I'm giving it an A-. Next, we have Richard Linklater's Boyhood. I need to rewatch this. I like it, but I think I like the idea of it more than the execution. I have not much to say about it. The gamble that you take by casting a little boy and hopefully he doesn't die. God, I don't even know what would happen if that was the case. I'm giving it a B though. I would love to one day, yeah, because like even like looking at it, I'm like, dude, this is crazy. So yeah, for right now, it's a B, but I'll give it a rewatch one day. Next up, we got Bram Stoker's Dracula. Guys, I don't ever think I can even articulate to you just how this movie's crazy. This movie is crazy. Bonkers to the max. Like, Francis Ford Coppola went in wanting to look towards styles, aesthetics, visual language, style in terms of filmmaking that was done in the 30s and 40s. He wanted to implement that, and he did. The argument could be made this is the most gorgeous film ever put to screen in celluloid, and I wouldn't even disagree. And the unique thing about Nosferatu Dracula is there are so many different interpretations about what you can gather from it, whereas like Nosferatu feels so much more abandoning and helpless. This is like an erotic MTV music video. When I watched it, I couldn't even believe what I was seeing. A+. I truthfully had no idea that movies could do that. Next, Rian Johnson's debut, Brick, made me want to make movies in more ways than I can think of. I don't even know how someone can count this as a debut when it does what it does. It is a whodunit thriller set in high school, really capitalizing on the angst, the anger, the sexual drive that is driven these children that act like adults but are young, and it's wild. I love Rian Johnson. This is no exception. A+. The man knows what he's doing. The man knows what he is doing. Buried. Ryan Reynolds. Dude, what I would give, what I would pay, what I would lend my left leg. Wait, I thought I was just rhyming. I'm so sorry. A movie with Ryan Reynolds set entirely in a coffin. It does not get much better than that, folks. There is like this way in which Reynolds communicates fear and panic that I think in the hands of anyone else could get annoying so quick, but he knows what he is doing. A- with a great ending. Showed it to a friend once, and he was like, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen because of the ending. I just didn't see the vision. Next, Cabin in the Woods. Fantastic time. What a great screenplay. Feels like it is homaging old films while also predating itself for what the horror landscape would become. Some of my favorite, put it on and you can have a blast watching it time sort of thing. Get as many of your friends to watch it during the fall time. You will not be proven wrong, mistaken, no matter what. It's getting an A. It's getting an A, for sure. Next, Call Me By Your Name. Maybe Timothée Chalamet's best performance. A film that ambiance and atmosphere is so well done and thought out. It feels like you are there in Italy during 1983. think, oh God, freaking call me like a fortune teller. I didn't even know it, but yeah, 1983. I can understand the conversation that it doesn't fully justify or make okay the relationship, but I do think that is the point. The conversation could be had about how gross it is, but I really do think that is ultimately the film's point. I love this film so very much. Watching this in 2017, I think was really something I needed to experience. Yeah. It's a shame, man, why Armie Hammer has to be such a terrible person, too, because, like, God, he knows how to act. A+. And then, to clear off this row, double billing, we have Winter Soldier, Civil War. I don't know what happened to the Russo brothers, man. I don't know if, like, they're being shadowed and puppeted by, like, Kevin Feige, because these films are really well done, but the moment they left the Marvel machine, they flopped so hard that then they had to come back. Great movies, great political thrillers. I've always loved Civil War. As I've gotten older, though, I think it's just like, they do look like gray sludge monsters, and I think the militarization and the American hoorah of big studio filmmaking, always under the banner of capitalism. If I think too much about it, I'm like, man, the year that Iron Man and The Dark Knight succeeded, but Hellboy didn't, they're fun, but I really just cannot get over, like, comic booky movies need to be back, and, you know, James Gunn, I think, is doing that right. B+. At a time, these were, like, my favorite movies, but I've grown up. Can I just say, I'm absolutely loving this momentum, guys. We're doing well. We got 2 rows down. We got 3 more to go. After this next row, I'll probably have to change positions, because I'm going to have to lower the camera a little bit. Don't worry, though. Don't get scared. We're in this together. This next row is filled with a lot of interesting stuff. I gotta be careful, though, because my, like, string of lights is right here, and I really don't want to mess up the formation of them, nor do I want any of the movies to fall. Okay, perfect. This next film, one of the first Dollar Tree movies I'd ever purchased. I don't even know if anybody has seen this film. It is terrific. Charlie, Countryman. A film about, like, the pursuit of love, living life on the edge. I dig the hell out of this movie, like, in a way that, as I'm talking about, I'm like, well, dude, maybe I should rewatch it. Yeah, like, all of these people I've never heard of. Obviously, it has a really unique cast, funny enough, considering that I've never heard of anybody behind the movie. Evan Rachel Wood, Shia LaBeouf, Mads Mikkelsen plays the villain. Dude, you have Ron from Harry Potter. Like, come on, let's be so serious for a second. I'm giving it an A. I think more people need to be put onto it. Just saying. Ooh, and this next film, don't even get me started, chat. A comfort film unlike any other comfort film. Chef. Jon Favreau, dude, you need to stop making live-action lions and being behind the Star Wars machine, because when you actually put your heart to it, this, Elf, another movie that, like, it feels like a fever dream. I'm Cuban. Cubanos, Cuban sandwiches, ropa vieja, medianoche. I love Cuban food. It is the gateway straight to my soul. And, like, I look back on my upbringing, and I think about, like, some of the most formative moments I've had, and it's been through food. And so for a film to really expound upon the idea of family and food coming together in the comforts of both, it's affirming about life in ways. Guys, have you seen Chef? A+. I love that film, dude. It's so freaking good. Oof, and a banger. say Chronicle has that dog in it. It's so wonderful. Like, this movie, 80 minutes, even the extended cut, I think it's literally, yeah, so it's 84 minutes for both. Either way, they're both under 90 minutes, but there's so much work in the screenplay, in the directing, in like the cast. Michael B. Jordan, Dane DeHaan. Oh my god, and I don't know the other guy. I'm so sorry, dude, and I feel bad because he's great. Alex Russell. What an amazing villain and superhero origin story. I ain't even gonna sugarcoat it. It's getting an A+ for me. Great movie. So sad we never got a sequel because I do think it would have done wonders. Oh, and next up we got a banger. We got a movie, yet another one that I really don't think people have ever seen. This was a film that I got off of eBay years and years and years ago. It's a film called City Island. Andy Garcia, Ezra Miller, great cast, a wonderful cast, and like, talk about, sorry, I'm like remembering this movie, a very unique, odd family with their own lives. Great time, especially if you have like a dysfunctional family. I'm gonna give it a B+. I was gonna say A-, but I feel comfortable giving it a B+. Really great time, like one of those like finds that you cop and you're like, wow, why don't people really talk about this? It's a really, really great experience though. Next, goodness gracious, I've talked about this movie enough. I'm not going to talk about it very much. I've seen this movie, I've shown this movie to 4 different people. 3 out of 4 of them really loved it, 1 didn't. But all of which have really just spawned great conversations, will make you really just love to be alive. Everything is connected, man. Go into this movie as blind and unknowing as possible. It's literally in my top 15 of all time. 10 out of 10, A++. I would give it 2 pluses if I could, guys. Speaking of an A+ movie, dude, guys, let's be honest for a second. Peak cinema, absolute cinema. I love this film. I think like Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street Lego movie, they worked so heavily in the Spider-Verse department. They know what they're doing in the realm of comedy, sci-fi, but mainly just comedy and art. I wish more animated films, and Sony Picture Animation kind of does have this on lock, just committed to weird ideas, but make it with integrity and art. You can make the idea of 2 poops floating down a sewer system, questioning their purpose in life. If it's made with integrity, heart, and has Chris Pratt voice acting, it's an A+. This is a B+ for me though. Really wonderful gags in this, and the father and son relationship. Rest in peace, James Caan. I think it's great. So great. We're gonna be doing a double billing these next 2 films. Cloverfield, and then we have 10 Cloverfield Lane. 2 entirely different movies, both of which are staples in bottled thriller and found footage subgenres. First time I saw Cloverfield was rented from Blockbuster. My parents showed me it when I was way too young, but it was infectious. The scale, the approach, it felt like these were real people. It felt like it was made for nothing and there was a real monster that one day attacked New York and someone just so happened to film it. 10 Cloverfield Lane, John Goodman's best performance. You have no idea what is happening is being truth or fiction. I'm gonna say it. Both are A+. Both are A+. Oh man. Shout out to Michael Mann. His best movie, even though I know he made Heat. I've not seen The Insider. I've seen a lot of his films. This is my favorite. no other film embodies not New York, Los Angeles. The nightlife, the feeling of being on your own at night and moving around, feeling like a ghost. If you've walked through LA at night or driven through, especially if you've driven through LA at night, you know the kind of essence this movie bottles. I wish Tom Cruise played the villain more. Impeccable film. And shout out my cousin who was a bar security guard is in the movie. Shout out. A+. Next we have a trilogy of films. The Cornetto trilogy. Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, The World's End. Out the gate, all of them are A+. But if I'm ranking them, it's actually in opposite order. So The World's End is my favorite, Hot Fuzz is my second, Shaun of the Dead is my third. I've probably pissed off a lot of people in that comment alone. But I think there is the way that Simon Pegg and Nick Frost have evolved in their friendship that has led to The World's End. It has this undertone of melancholy. But again, this is favorite children level stuff. I love them all. I think I just really like Hot Fuzz. Like Hot Fuzz was the one I think I've seen the most. The World's End is the one that I appreciate on an acting level. And then Shaun of the Dead is kind of just a little mixing of both. All A+ though. Like, show these to any one of your friends. You can have some brewskis. If you're underage, some chocolate milk, some pizzas. You like this is what cinema and movie going and friendship is all about. It's the friends we make along the way. Next, brought up Chef, brought up Jon Favreau. Does anyone remember Cowboys and Aliens? And also Mandela effect level stuff. Does anyone remember this being called Cowboys versus Aliens? I swear on my life, like if I was a betting person, this was literally called Cowboys vs. Aliens. Anyway, stupid film. So stupid. But it looks great. Yet again, a bygone era movie where people would throw wads and wads of cash at dumb ideas, but if they committed to it, you would have some fun. It's the same thing with like a movie like Legion, if you've ever seen that film. Like, stupid concepts. But they really do try, and along the way it's fun. A B-. It is a very B-level movie, but hey, I have fun. What can I say? Next, maybe the greatest anime to ever exist. Shinichiro Watanabe. I really do need to get, I know he literally just came out with an anime. Oh god, what is it called? It's called something. Don't even remember. Was it good? Cowboy Bebop. Talk about greatness. This is wonderful. I think my biggest sentiment is the way that this story never tries to make such caricatures out of like Spike or Jet or Valentine. None of these characters, they like are human, obviously bounty hunters, and you know, they have their silly quirks, but I think the ending solidified it to me because there was never this grandiose embrace or this fleeting like, let's all hug and cry it out. But they leave, they depart, they conflict. And again, I have not seen the movie, and I've heard that the journey is made the most worth it because of the movie. But what a brilliant show. A+, guys. Why would you give this anything but an A+? Crawl. A intense, crazy thriller horror movie that involves a girl running away from sharks or swimming away from sharks. A great time though. The actress's name, she's in Skins. I want to make sure I get her name right. Kaya Scodelario. So good in this. It's basically her in CGI. Water too. What a great time. I know this director did The Hills Have Eyes remake in like 2006. What a freak. I have a great time. I haven't seen this in a minute though. It's getting a B+. Stupid, but like really fun stupid. Great time, great time. Slept on. Next one, slept on, guys. The Creator. It's afterwards was going to be put in director's jail, and that broke my heart because I don't think he's made a bad movie at all. But lo and behold, I think he's going to be making, like, winding up making the most profitable, successful live-action movie of the year with Jurassic World Rebirth, which is okay as a movie, but, like, none of the okayness of it has anything to do with him. This is his best film. Very spiritual, meditative, the scale, the story. Wonderful. The fact that this is edited by one of the editors of Tree of Life, I think says it all. Big cinema, man. A-. I do think that third act somehow, even though it's like 2 hours and 15 minutes, 2 hours and 13 minutes, it could have been like 7 minutes longer. I feel like it tries to rush certain things. But hey, when it looks as good as it does, I'm not complaining. Next, we have the great trilogy. 3 movies that are great. I think the first one is the best despite having the worst villain. The second one has the best villain, but the worst overall story. And the third one, I think, is a little balance of both. I think I would be 1, 3, 2, but 2 is like an 8. Michael B. Jordan directing the third, and he kind of kicks ass behind the director's chair. So the first one's like an A, could be an A+ eventually. Second one is like a B. Third one's a B+. I'm actually really comfortable with that, to be honest. Next, we have a movie that no one showed up for, and because of it, I think the director has been in director's jail underground with, like, Brad Bird, who last made The Incredibles 2. I apologize for the plane overhead. And then, like, freaking, what's the dude's name? Andrew something. The guy who did Finding Nemo. Last movie he did, what was the last movie the fool did? Oh, Finding Dory. What a mid-movie. Anyway, A Cure for Wellness. What a brilliant, and I say that, brilliant horror movie. It gets weird, uses body horror, but man, atmosphere, I think, is the thing that I will be always preferential towards over jump scares. This has it. It's long too. It's like, again, I have no idea how this movie was even able to get made, because, yeah, 146-minute long horror movie. Dude, we will never get swings like that again. I give it an A-. Little messy at points. But hey, I'm not complaining. Then we have the Daniel Craig trilogy. This was before Spectre. I Have No Time to Die. I do not own Spectre. Casino Royale, A+. Quantum of Solace, fun. Spectre's a lot worse. I would give it a B-. Skyfall's an A+. Great movies, man. Daniel Craig, I'm so glad he's experimenting in his career. He's doing, like, Queer, the Knives Out films. What a wonderful actor. He turns in roles, man. I think he is a force. The best film in the Dark Knight trilogy, The Dark Knight Rises. And I don't care what anybody says. It's the best one. For a long time, it was actually my favorite Christopher Nolan movie. I think that has since changed. Tenet, I think it is. I have to stand my ground and, like, really embrace my piece. It is my favorite of his. But I love The Dark Knight Rises. It's the one that I think focuses the most on Bruce Wayne more than Batman, and I think The Dark Knight is all about Batman, and for all of its worth, it deserves to be. But I just think this hits the most emotionally, the pit scene being, to me, a crowning jewel of emotional release and catharsis in comic book movies. And I get if people don't like it. Tom Hardy, man. God, I miss you, dude. Come back. A+. Next we have Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Matt Reeves has yet to make a bad movie. I think another take here, and we'll talk about it because I own all of them, but I don't own them together because they're all Rise, Dawn, War, and Kingdom. Rewatching all of them for Kingdom. Kingdom is my favorite. A- though. A-. truly some what sort of moments of how they were able to light the film, make it look the way it does. It's great, the dichotomy and the duology between the human group and the ape group. Matt Reeves is a genius. He can take as long as he needs. So yeah, I would give it like an A- or a B+. Take as long as you need, brother, to take genius with the Batman 2. Speaking of genius sequels, Deadpool 2. I don't really have much to say. I don't own the first one. I think the second one is better. What makes me upset is there is an extended cut. The extended cut replaces one of the more emotional parts of the movie with a different frickin' song. The original has a slowed version of Take On Me that makes me cry. They replace it with the Celine Dion song. It's literally like made for this movie, which is good, but it's not as good as it. I don't have much to say about it. It's a lot of fun. Josh Brolin is Cable. He hates the performance somehow. I think he's great. It's getting a B+. Again, popcorn shoving time. Can't go wrong, friends. Den of Thieves. I love dad cinema. Gerard Butler in this movie plays a sleazy cop that is like the worst husband in the world. I don't think anyone has ever looked greasier in a movie. Terrific actor. Great time. Yeah, this film is 2.5 hours. I love every damn minute of it. The sequel is just as good as well. I love heist films, and I think it is something about like filmmaking is a team of people assembled to television to execute a job. A heist is an extension of that. Great time though. O'Shea Jackson, 50 Cent, like are we serious? It's a B+. You know what you're getting into. I have a great time every single moment. Oh god, and I'm gonna rustle feathers, but okay, I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna put it back in because I'm gonna upset some people. Steelbook of Django Unchained. I've never seen it. I can't rate it. I'm sorry, guys. Let's move on. Let's move on. I will get to it. I promise. I promise. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Next, Dr. Sleep. If you watch it, watch the 3-hour version. Rebecca Ferguson as Rose the Hat. Whew, one of the best. Danny, the first 2/3 of the movie are the best, where it feels so different and apart from The Shining, following Danny's trauma and utilization of alcohol. Unbelievable dream sequence in this movie, but that second into third act does sort of falter. It's an A- to Mike Flanagan in We Trust. A movie next that people really condemn, and I think they're stupid. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. One of my favorite sort of phase 4 or 5, I forget which one it was. It's a really, really good time. It is a Wanda film at its core, but I do think, like, for all of the people who complain about it and the Illuminati stuff does suck, it's Sam Raimi goodness, man. And it looks great. It feels great. I have a blast, and it's like 2 hours. It's a perfect sort of popcorn film, and it has the style of a Sam Raimi campy horror film. I mean, Doctor Strange literally possesses a corpse of himself. It's friggin' Sam Raimi, dude. I'm giving it a B+. There's some really dumb moments in it, do not get me wrong, but I wanted Sam Raimi and I got it. Next we have a really great slow burn dragged across concrete. A lot to say about how violence is portrayed in this movie. It's really, really freaking long though. It is 2.5 hours, but Mel Gibson, Vince Vaughn, Craig Zahler, I really do think he reminds me a lot of Jeremy Saulnier, who did like Green Book, Green Room, what's that, Rebel Ridge. Really great, self-contained film. A bit in this movie that is almost almost made me want to vomit. B+. Really, really great movie, though. If you've never seen it, Vince Vaughn can dramatize the hell out of his performances. Dream Scenario, a very, very good sleeper. Nicolas Cage appearing in people's dreams. A24, it's odd, but really infectious. Has Michael Cera in it as well. It can get very sad in the way that, like, people chase the high of fame and notoriety, but how everything is sort of commodified, and if you're relevant one day, you are a thing of the past the other. I think it is such a unique concept, and like, he appears in everyone's dream, and he's a nobody that becomes somebody. It looks great, it's shot on film, and with that, in our third row, finishing off with an A-. Alrighty friends, so, new position, a wardrobe change. I'm actually recording this part of the video a couple days after the first three, but it's okay. We have 2 more shelves left. We have gone through A, B, C, and are pretty much towards the tail end of D. I think we're making great time. I'm a lot more rested than I was then, but let's still keep that pace going. Pictured below is my sister's fold-out chair that I'm sitting on, my little sister's chair. The things I do for you guys, I love you all. I'm very excited though. Continuing our list, we have maybe one of my favorite steelbooks that I own. I think Lionsgate kicks it out of the park when it comes to their exclusives and making a customer purchase a movie that's existed for years. Dread, what a slept-on movie too. I think this is gonzo action, gore, maximalist filmmaking that feels to me like some of my favorite things in the genre. Small locations, zaniness, wackiness. The slow-mo when they use the drug in this movie is so eye-popping. I love Carl Urban, and I'm glad he got to lead this movie. And it's like 90 minutes. I think I could be totally off base there. 96 minutes, an hour and a half. A perfect tight run time. It's getting an A-. It's a B+ to an A-. But right now I'm feeling really high on the movie. Next, we have one of the only few still sealed films that I own. I got this from the Dollar Tree. It is Drinking Buddies. This has like Olivia Wilde, Anna Kendrick, what's his name, Jake Johnson, Ron Livingston. I don't know anything about this movie. It was the sort of thing back when Dollar Tree, breaks my heart they don't anymore, sold physical media. You would sometimes find these diamond in the roughs. I really do not know much about this, but I love me some good, quaint comedies, and it seems like one of them, so the rating, TBD, to be determined. The next is kind of the thing that I show people when I want to kind of give them a inside look to the power of 4K. Yes, it is a Christopher Nolan movie. Yes, I love this movie. Dunkirk. A lot of people don't like, actually, okay, let me correct myself. A lot of people don't like this movie, but then there's like a few people that I know personally that think this is one of Nolan's greatest. I haven't seen this movie in years, but I do think maybe out of all of his filmography, it might be the one that at home would hold up the least, because it is under 2 hours, but it is one where I think the soundscape that it encaptures is specifically meant for the movie theater. Its structure is so unique. I think it is middle Nolan, but that's saying something. I still give this an A. I think it's wonderful. Hans Zimmer's score, I think the track is called Supermarine. It's like 8 minutes, the same chord progression, just escalating. Great stuff. Great stuff. Superbly shot as well. Next, this is a director's cut, I believe. I could be totally wrong. Yeah, there is a theatrical version, and then there's the director's cut, which is just 5 minutes longer, but regardless, sorry, it gets a little dark when it focuses on the camera. But there is such a simplicity to this. A lot of people do criticize the film for kind of whitewashing the idea of like a tourist, a foreigner going to all these different places, and the story sort of makes it about herself. But I really do fall head over heels for Julia Roberts, Javier Bardem. I want to say this is even directed, by the creator of American Horror Story. I have just like a really big soft spot for simple love stories, and this is about as simple as it comes. It's like the Judd Apatow, but for rom-coms. It's getting a B for me. Oh, another Steelbook goodie. Edward Scissorhands. I got this by my parents 2019, 2020, and I had seen the movie so long prior. But it was, I think, Christmas. I saw it like right before New Year's, so from like the 24th to the 1st, and it just did something to me. I think this embodies what I think is the best sensibilities of Tim Burton, and I've always really thought that Tim Burton was a fine filmmaker who just knows how to pick really great people in other departments. But admittedly, this is wonderful storytelling in all departments. Danny Elfman's score, the production design, depth, writer. It is such a great, great story. And I know he sort of based the look off of the houses akin to where he grew up, which is actually a place not too far from where I live, and it adds a layer to it. A+. Top 3 Tim Burton for me. People sleep on a specific Tim Burton film that I own the 4K of that we'll get to in the next part. For now, a movie by a filmmaker that I miss when he made movies in this genre. Elysium. Neil Blomkamp, man. Back when he was making such exciting feasts for the eyes, where you knew where to put money, where to take budgets, and make things look twice as expensive. I think between District 9, Elysium, and Chappie, this is my favorite. The world building, I love Matt Damon in this. The villain, Charlotte Copley, plays a villain named Kruger. I think this is like, my older brother, he watched Sci-Fi Channel movies, and I think I have like a very big soft spot for these kind of science fiction stuff. It's so good. B+, man. Just a great time all around. This next one, funny enough, is a DIY movie I made for myself because there doesn't exist a physical release. This is The Empty Man. Like, I literally printed out images and like glued it with like, I don't know if you can see that that's like I want to say crayon. It says The Empty Man. This is a Redbox DVD. This movie, its story, failed so hard at the box office, was there for a weekend. The director didn't even know that it was dropping in theaters. It was like a studio acquisition thing. The people who cared about this movie and backed it left. And then it went to obscurity. Reviewers took a hold of it. Chris Stuckman made a video about it. It blew the film up. And I think this movie is so brilliant. Like, I have seen it twice. It is 2 hours and almost 30 minutes long. It goes to all these different genres. It is a Seven Fincher-esque thriller. It is a cult horror film. It has one of my favorite opening 25 minutes of a horror movie I've ever seen. It looks amazing. Great stuff. I'm giving it an A. I think what kind of prevents me from an A+ is there is parts that are a bit wobbly. So good though. And this guy, I think his name's like James Badge Daly or something like that. I wish he led more movies. He's always playing the side character. And funny enough, right after, we have Another sci-fi film that is so, so good. Really underseen and underappreciated. The Endless. Directed, written, shot, and edited by the people who star in this. Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. These are like two best friends who have been making sci-fi films for a decade plus. Now they're like doing Marvel stuff. They did Daredevil Born Again, Moon Knight, Loki Season 2. Two best friends who were once a part of a cult leave it and are completely upset, lost, frustrated at where their life is. So to feel something again, to reignite a spark, they go back to the cult. Wonderful film. Weird movie. But for the shoestring budget and the amount of care and delicacy, like just soft approach that they go to telling a story that could have just been so violent or so nutso. It is a really somber story. I love this thing. I love this thing, man. I'm so glad I own it. I got it at like Best Buy when I was really young for like $8 or something like that. Next, E.T. This is actually unopened too, with some dust. But I mean, there's not much to be said about E.T. I love it. I don't think it cracks top 10 Spielberg for me. The movie works really, really at its strongest when it does try to analyze a broken family, a fractured family from the absence of another parental figure, the destructiveness of it all. That hits really close to me, and it's really interesting. Like after The Fabelmans, which we'll also be talking about quite soon, the way that Spielberg kind of goes about dissecting his own life as subtext in all of his movies, Close Encounters, Jaws, E.T., all having that family undertone. It's an A- for me. I got to see this a couple years back in IMAX for a re-release anniversary. It's great stuff. People who hate on this movie are so stupid. Are so freaking stupid. I'm sorry. There's been this weird, like, renaissance of hatred towards this film. People call it dumb. People call it just completely self-indulgent. What are we saying? What are you talking about? This film is one of a kind. And maybe, I would give it some more time. But I think the conversation about, as we're getting closer and closer to the end of the 2020s, what the most important film of the decade is, and for filmmaking, for saying, screw the middleman, let's make something powerful and so interesting and individual and singular, this may be it. A+. Come on now. Maybe one of the best double features you can have. Sam Raimi, my goat, my god, I love you. The first and the second, I think, are great in their own unique ways. The second just feels like the first, but with more money and more freedom. I love Sam Raimi. I mean, my favorite movie of all time is Spider-Man 2. I do have, like, Army of Darkness. I showed that in my other video. But there's no bad Evil Dead movie. I have to rewatch the Fede Alvarez one. It's been years. But these are classics. So I think, like, A+ to both. I think they're all, maybe with the exception of Rise, A+ is one of the most consistent horror franchises there is. Next we have Ex Machina. Great sci-fi. An amazing debut. The visuals, the score. I think I prefer this to Annihilation. I love the ending. I love the character work. The three actors in this, Domhnall Gleeson, Oscar Isaac, Alicia Vikander, and then Alex Garland's intuition as a filmmaker with just committing and trusting his script and going all the way, going the distance. I appreciate it. It's pretty much in this complex the entire time. It's an A. I do always kind of equate like A24 and me kind of really figuring out who they were so early in life, because this came out I want to say 2015 or 2014. Yeah, by that point I really was not familiar with A24, so really fond memories to think about when it comes to Ex Machina. Now, although this is sealed, this is a top 10 movie of all time for me, and they just announced the Criterion, which I could not be more excited about. Maybe one day I'll make a video on this film, but there really is no film quite like it. Stanley Kubrick died a week before either the film released or like it was like official picture lock, something. And people always debate about like the missing footage as something like he died over, or he uncovered something about Hollywood that he didn't want anyone to see and he took it with him to his grave. If you can have someone start talking about shit like that, that's like so unsubstantiated, I think your movie works. Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman, guys, let's be so honest for a second. There really is no better erotic dissection of promiscuity, of loyalty, of love. A++. I got to see this on film. I've never been the same since. Now, we're rocking with Fablemans. When I had first seen this movie back in 2022, I actually didn't really love it. I thought it was good, but I thought it was really like, okay, victory lappy for a filmmaker who deserves more than anyone the victory lap. But I think it was that rewatch, the time between 2022 and like 2024, where I kind of like leaned into this idea of what if it isn't a one-for-one of what Spielberg went through, and how courageous it is to tell a story that, although the character, his name is Stephen, is about your life and the upbringing in a fractured, broken family. And what if the scenes themselves are not recreations, but what you wish could have happened, or what you then look back on 40 years later, 50 years later, and with that perspective, imbue into a story like that. You know, art is fiction, or this is fiction. And it did something to me, that whole like shift, that paradigm shift. And I wept so hard in this movie. So many wonderful scenes. And to see where Spielberg has gone as a filmmaker, God, it is legendary. An A+, it literally was one time a B, now it's an A+. The next is a film that failed a lot harder than I thought it was going to. And it's sad, because I don't love all of David Leitch's stuff, but when you have an action love story like The Fall Guy, Emily Blunt, Ryan Gosling, and it's about stuntmen and the film business in a very loose way, it's a great time. I know it comes with an extended cut. It actually is quite a big difference. Yeah, it's 20 minutes more footage, and I think the extended cut, while not necessary viewing, is better, because my biggest issue with The Fall Guy was actually that I felt it played the action too safe, and it made it far more about spectacle than like stunts, where stunt men and women are used. But like in the extended cut, they literally show 8 minutes more of a scene that was entirely cut from the theatrical, that involves like stuntmen moving, and it's great. It's a lot of fun. I'm giving it a B. I'll give it a B. Really fun stuff. Next, one of my favorite science fiction films, The Fifth Element. So weird, so odd, so gorgeous to look at. Bruce Willis, Chris Tucker, Mia Jovovich, Gary Oldman. Luc Besson is a terrible weirdo of a person, but unfortunately I think it is the fact that he is a foreigner, he isn't American, that adds such different look at what this world in this movie is and what it's saying. I think like if you got it in the hands of anyone else, it wouldn't look as good. Such a great scene. The opera house scene, that did so much to me as a kid. Brilliant stuff. It's an A. Big childhood favorite of mine. This next one breaks my heart that I actually haven't watched despite me owning it. Tell me in the comments if I'm missing out. I have not seen Firefly. And the more I look at it, the more dust that is collected on this Blu-ray that I've had for so long, the more I'm like, I need to just watch it. It's one season. I hear Serenity is great. Let me know if I should see it. No rating for right now. A movie that is either wickedly misconstrued, wickedly taken in the worst directions, or just seen as great. I am one of those people. 500 Days of Summer is a maligned portrait and an analysis of a relationship through tinted glasses, through the subtle, micro-aggressive manipulations that partners can do. Like, maybe I'm reading too deep into it, but everyone that thinks that, like, it feeds into, like, this male power fantasy or makes the woman feel not as dimensioned or me oh my pity session, I can see, but I do feel like the script is smart enough to sort of take that and use it as a dissective point to look at a human relationship, and the ending is amazing. I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Zooey Deschanel. I can get why people don't like it. I think it's great. It's gonna be a plus for me. Now we are jumping off that to Holy Friggin' Peak. I love this movie. It holds a very significant place in my heart as the first film I saw back in theaters during a time when I had a serious injury. And as I was watching the movie, I realized there was a part in this incident that had happened to me where I very much may have never been able to see a movie again. And I've never not thought about that when I watched this silly-ass movie. And I think it's great. You have the Jim Henson Creature Shop working on the real puppets. It's a blast. I'm going to see the second one 10 different times. I'm going to see it with the biggest crowd ever. It's actually not even ironic. Going to be plus for me. It's a great time. Next, another Dollar Tree film, actually. Great, steamy fun. I really miss when we would just have these fun sort of movies that were so nonsensical, but tried so hard to be erotic, steamy. Doesn't work. I don't know. But I also kind of miss when Will Smith actually was, like, in movies. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, certain types of movies, but I just, like, miss when he was in movies. He needs to stop doing this music career revitalized. It's like dadcore music. He needs to pump the brakes. I'm gonna give it like a B-. Truthfully, I don't even ever think I'll watch this movie again, but hey, it's nice to have, I guess, you know. It definitely would be like one of the first films on the cutting room when I'm looking to, like, donate and downsize for stuff that I actually do want. The next up is actually a movie that I did not think I was going to love, made by a filmmaker whose movies I don't like. I think he's a great guy, but this thing is so wonderful. The 4:30 movie, Kevin Smith directing a film set in his own movie theater, about a time in his life where being young and going to see movies during the summer with dates was all that mattered. I cried to a Kevin Smith movie. It is so beautiful and tender. It's 80 minutes long. Yeah, it's silly. Yeah, it has that raunchy humor. But I really thought it worked. I thought it was so good. And I hope Kevin Smith continues to actually make movies that aren't Jay and Silent Bob, Clerks, Mallrats, sequels and stuff, because he does have things to say. I thought it was wonderful. Absolutely so heavily away from comfort and cozy. We have maybe one of the saddest, more chilling movies, Foxcatcher. The role that made me see Steve Carell as a really professional, unique voice. Following, like, these brothers, Channing Tatum, Mark Ruffalo, this is based on a true story, who are wrestlers that get the opportunity to do something with their selves and their career through kind of like a coach, played by Steve Carell. And then manipulation, substance, and just all these things begin breaking Channing Tatum, uncovering the truest nature of this man. It's insane. It's slow, very slow, but it's shot by the guy who went on to shoot the Batman. It's like a B+ for me. It's a great film though. Great stuff. One of the first movies that I had bought on my own. And I watched it, I was like, this is so boring. But I've since come around to it. Next is another Dollar Tree movie that is wrapped. It makes me really sad because I actually think I would really freaking like this movie. Frank, Michael Fassbender, Tom Hall Gleason, that looks like Maggie Gyllenhaal. Yeah, dude, a musician that wears like a head. Never seen it. Let me know if I should though. Next is actually a movie that I talked about in my last video of some of my favorite comfort movies. Funny People. Yes, it is 2.5 hours. Yes, it does kind of feel long. But I think when you as a filmmaker, Judd Apatow, are friends for so long with all these other actors, it just feels like you're setting up a camera but with a good script, unlike a lot of Adam Sandler movies that I just feel rely on very surface level asinine humor. There's a really good beating heart to this. Honestly, I'm gonna give it an A. I actually really want to rewatch this movie. Next is maybe the film that breaks my heart when I think about movies that people didn't show up for. The ones that kind of just failed financially. Because, God, this is where I think people will burn me at the stake. Some days I wake up and I think to myself, maybe Furiosa is the best Mad Max movie. Sure, does some of the CGI not look the best? Yeah. Sure, is it not as overwhelming and emotionally, or visually, I'm sorry, eye-gasping as Fury Road? Yes. But this film, kind of why I had the word slip up, is such an emotional and very intrinsic internal journey as it is literal. Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris freaking Hemsworth give, I think, maybe the performances of their career in this movie. I saw it 4 times in theaters. Each time I loved it more. Its fable-like structure, the look of the movie, it is so unique. Again, as I was saying with The Fifth Element, non-American filmmakers working in the American studio system have just a whole different approach to telling stories through action or in general. There are shots in this movie, long takes, that had my brain scrambled. The last 10 minutes of this film basically being nothing but dialogue. I love this movie. I hope if I ever get to open a movie theater, I'll play this like every single day. A+, without question. I think I gave it, when I first saw it, like an A- or an A. It has since drastically increased. Oh yeah. Now we are into the G's, my friends. Starting things with a really freaking odd horror movie that I have a weird relationship with. A lot of fun though. The Gallows. Does anyone remember this movie? It's a found footage movie made in 2015, right towards the tail end of the found footage boom. I think it's a really great time though, mostly due to its basically in the entirety of the empty school's theater department. And I think that lends itself to really kind of having fun with its canvas, its playground. Funny though, I was dating someone who would religiously watch like bad horror movies, and we had come up with this idea because no one really was doing anything with this property to make the gallows a musical, because it is set on like a stage in a theater, and we'd incorporate the horror elements because we wanted there to be more horror-based musicals. Relationship didn't work out, but that concept has always kind of stuck with me. I think it would be cool. Let me know. I think this movie's a lot of fun. It's 80 minutes of great, bring your friends together, jump at some really cheap jump scares, but have a good time sort of vibe. It's getting a B. I actually do think it is slept on, like not even unironically. Next, my favorite comedy of all time, made by the people who were supposed to do The Flash, and especially considering how the final product of that movie turned out, I lose sleep knowing we'll never get it. Game Night is shot, composed, made, and constructed in the way that you would never expect a comedy to do. And it's so good, in fact, that like it kind of makes me look at every other comedy thinking like, man, okay, like you don't have an excuse. I think sometimes comedies kind of hinge and ride the coattails of a good script, or the jokes kind of carrying you through. But I really do think that like this thing looks incredible. It's endlessly rewatchable. It's up there for me, like with Superbad, as my favorite comedy of all time. A+. Rachel McAdams. I wish she was in more comedies. Her timing, out of this world. Next, perhaps the horror film that changed the trajectory of where horror films are now. And to call this a debut is like, dude, Get Out. I actually really don't have too much to say about this. It's my second favorite Jordan Peele film. First being Nope, third being Us. It is him very much as a green, first-time feature filmmaker, but I think it may have his best screenplay. I would easily say Nope, but I think the issue with Nope is that I think there is like a 2.5-hour film in a 2-hour and 10-minute film. This is like, again, one of the best screenplays of the past 20 years. It's an A+. Next, I could actually do a double of, because we have the original and we have the remake, Ghost in the Shell, the live-action Ghost in the Shell. Not much to say about the anime. It's a feast of the eyes. It looks amazing. Cyberpunk, futurism, has never looked as good. It's an A. This thing, I watched this I rewatched it a few months ago. I think the movie holds up. It does what I love about the original, which is showcase a look and a world I eat up. I think it sounds great. Clint Mansell does the score. I did like Drive. I think it's Clint Mansell. I can almost bet money it's Clint Mansell. Hold on, chat. Give me 1 second. Now I'm on this. Yeah, Clint Mansell. Okay. I think it's great. I get it, Scarlett Johansson. I get it. And the way he tries to haphazardly explain it, that still is. It was to make money. I think it's a good time. It's a B+. I'm gonna stand on that business. I think it's a good time. We have completed officially our 4th row. Starting things hot and fresh. This movie, it's not good. Objectively, it's not good. Ghosts of Mars. And yes, my packaging is upside down. The quick anecdote behind that is this is the last movie I ever purchased from Best Buy. Before they stopped carrying physical media, I could have bought anything. But for some reason, they were selling this, and it was like in the corner as it was packaged like this, saying that it was on clearance, and it was like for $5. I immediately bought it. So that's the story behind this. This movie is not good. And anytime you hear John Carpenter discuss this movie, he will be the first to tell you he was not wanting to make a good movie, he was looking to make a fun movie. It is a blast. There's a group of there is a group of characters in this film, throwaway characters, 3 goons, called Uno, Dos, and Tres. I'm sorry. It is ridiculous. It's great. If I'm being, like, critical, it's like a D. But then I put in, like, how much fun I had. It's an A+, man. If you've ever seen this movie, John Carpenter also does the score. God, that man he's insane. I think out of all the unmade movies to exist, his Dead Space is up there as the one that, like, I would probably kill someone to have seen. Next we have A Ghost Story. I love David Lowery. I think David Lowery in every single thing I've seen, even the big budget stuff, Pete's Dragon, Peter and Wendy, underrated by the way, he captures an atmosphere every single time that I love. It's not for everyone, but I really do think it works. It to me is a hybrid of like dreamscape, but also so ethereal, especially in this. It's so aching and sad, and it just makes you really want to tell someone that you love them, you know? It's an A- for me. Next, we have what I consider my favorite David Fincher film. We have The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. You want to talk about sensual, you want to talk about repulsive, you want to talk about sleek and stylish. This film, I'm really shocked, is not other people's favorite David Fincher movies. Again, I'm someone who will take atmosphere over horror, atmosphere over anything sometimes, even to a fault. This film emulates a damn atmosphere that has never been replicated. Rooney Mara deserved an Oscar. Daniel Craig, I think especially later in his career where we're at now, is really experimenting, and he's the juice. A+. Big time A+. Next, a movie that I don't love, but I quite enjoy. It is far and away my least, I would say his most recent film would probably be my least favorite. Godzilla. The movie that people hate, a lot of the reason because Godzilla is barely in it. I think the movie shines so bright because of it. The characters themselves I really love. What I don't adore is the movie looks gray. Not like Marvel gray, but like gray in ways that I wish it didn't sometimes. And it really does rely on the characters. I do wish we got more Godzilla in it. It's great stuff. I'm giving it a B. Again, I do think Jurassic World Rebirth, through no fault of Gareth Edwards, is his worst film. Alrighty. Funny how we just talked about this director, and we're talking about maybe a top 3 of his. Gone Girl. I think this film is excellent. The synthesis of a brilliant screenplay meeting a this is an edition that actually comes with the amazing Amy book right here, and then the movie itself. In a lot of regards, I think this is the last, like, David Fincher film that we've ever gotten. It's over 10 years. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Meg. I really love The Killer. But in terms of a head and shoulders David Fincher movie, I think Gone Girl is his last. Who knows if the Cliff Booth movie is going to do it. The idea of that just is like, what? But I miss David Fincher. A+. What a sadistic movie. Ben Affleck is one of the greatest there ever is. That guy, wow. And of course, Rosamund Pike. I mean, you get a dramatic performance from Tyler Perry. You know you've done something as a director. Good time. I am not one of the people that thinks this is the Safdie's best film. Also, another twist of the knife. They're making movies separately, and both of them look painfully okay. We'll see about it, but I think this, well, without this, we wouldn't get Robert Pattinson as the Batman, so in that regard, I will adore this forever. But again, there is really not many filmmakers out there who's able to capture immediacy and momentum forward like the Safdies. The way that they're able to make you feel so claustrophobic in the close-ups that they shoot alone. Come on now. A+. I do think Uncut Gems is better though. And again, I'm not trying to compare favorite children here, but Uncut Gems is next level filmmaking. Next, we have a movie that I really need to rewatch because it has this weird, like, everything everywhere hate train that I'm like, why? Do I think it's going to be my favorite film from this filmmaker? No. But I do think I'm going to really be able to appreciate it now that I've gotten older. Alfonso Cuarón's Gravity. I mean, the movie basically is Sandra Bullock and George Clooney, but just Sandra Bullock. And you have Emmanuel Lubezki shooting, really pushing the technology for the time. Again, I can't really say too much. Tentatively, it's a B+. I can only hope that it will get higher from there. Next, okay, you know what? Why I own this, I actually don't fully know. I think I own this because I, at the time, hadn't seen it. I can acknowledge the film is actually quite problematic. Green Book. Yes, I will stand on the grave that this did not deserve Best Picture at all. Actually, at all. And it does make me sad because, like, when you have one of your lead actors apologizing for being in the film, you know you kind of messed up. What I think does work is it is a story that is quiet and brimming with a comfort and an energy that not many films do on a scale budget-wise like this. I think it was made for like $30 million or something like that. I love Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali, so I'll give it like a C+. Actually, kind of another film where I'm like, actually, why do I own this movie? Yeah, why do I own this movie? I don't know. It's maybe because it's at the very bottom here, and I don't often give light or time to these movies, sadly. Don't worry, I love all of you, though. But this is gonna help my case either. A movie I do like more, I do. But why I own a Blu-ray 3D copy of The Green Hornet is sort of beyond me. B-. I have nothing to say about this. I have not seen this movie in well over 10 years. You have the director of Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, who made this. You have Christoph Waltz, who plays a villain by the name of Chefnovsky, and he has a gun that is two separate guns fused into one. Why do I know this? It's like sleeper agent words coming into my head. Yeah. Oh my god, and yet another film from a filmmaker we just talked about, and I think it's their best. The Green Knight. And I'm so glad this movie is on 4K. Dev Patel. It's maybe one of the more underutilized talents of our time. I'm so happy he's in this era where he's doing his movies and directing. Monkey Man was great. This movie's brilliant. Taking the tale of Sir Gawain the Green Knight and, again, dreamlike, ethereal, otherworldly, but telling a story about cowardliness, but aging, adolescence, kind of a coming-of-age story. It is wonderful. I can get why you wouldn't like it, but to that I would say you don't have the soul in you. Amazing. Great stuff. A+ all around. Now this next one is a movie that I really like to recommend to people when they're looking for something unique, for something fresh, for something kind of unseen, but worth your time. Liam Neeson gives his best performance. Okay, well, I do think he's actually pretty exceptional in The Naked Gun. Go see that movie. But this film is white-knuckled. I've never seen a film portray wolves as horrifying and menacing as they are in this movie. It is aching, but like, it works in every department. It is frigid, you feel it, and imagining them actually making this movie in the snow feels twice as daunting. I love the ending. It is shot supremely. I think it's wonderful. Like, a just top to bottom great movie that is so worth your time. It's getting an A. This next one, while it is wrapped, is a movie that I had the wonderful pleasure of seeing theatrically in film on 35mm. One of the greatest cinema experiences that I will take to my grave. Two films that are equally as like of their time. Homage, love letters, absurd, committed, what are we watching sort of thing. This is The Grindhouse. Now, this is Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez making two movies. Rodriguez made Planet Terror, Tarantino made Death Proof, and it is supposed to be experienced as a one sit-through. This back-to-back, over 3-hour experience with trailers, as if you're watching a Grindhouse double feature from the 70s. They have trailers directed by, like, Rob Zombie, Edgar Wright, Eli Roth. But it's all there to kind of tell you, and you feel a vibe. I love Planet Terror. Planet Terror is, again, maximalist, camp to the nines. The streets kind of kill me when I may say that Death Proof is Tarantino's best. That movie is... I cannot tell you the last time I have been as white-knuckled and scared in a movie theater than the initial car scene, the reveal of a character being the villain. I wish Tarantino got weird like this. And the experience is an A++. Planet Terror is an A. Death Proof's an A+. Guys, it's so good. And like, man, this is so sick. It comes with like making ofs. They're the goats. Like, the back doesn't have any images of the movies, but the two of them, so good. It breaks my heart knowing that Tarantino does not think too fondly of Death Proof, because I do think it's his best. I think, like, getting to see The Whole Bloody Affair in theaters as well, that is, again, one of a kind. Jackie Brown, The Hateful Eight, I got to see the Road Show. second. The guy can do no wrong. So actually, wow, we're doing a lot of like filmmaker doubles, but next I want to combine, because we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on 4K. I don't get why people get so angry sometimes when I say that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is the best MCU movie to date. The emotional high that this film gives me and rides has not been marveled or rivaled. The ending, I think, like, you talk about endings that will wreck you. Cat Stevens, father and son, Yondu, it doesn't end on action, but it ends on like a beat of characters grieving. And it kills me. It kills me. But Volume 3, I really cannot understate just how great, like, I was so excited for it, but I was also theorizing who was going to die and what the emotional moment was going to be that was going to eviscerate all the floodgates in me. But James Gunn, for as professional, as wise of a writer and filmmaker as he is, went in a completely different direction, and it made me cry even more. And I'm not basing a movie based off of how much it makes me cry. James Gunn knows how to end a goddamn movie. I think the conversation needs to be had that for big budget movies, I don't think anyone is really doing it the way James Gunn is. He made 3 Guardians films, The Suicide Squad, a Superman movie, Peacemaker, and is running DC. What? A for Volume 3, A+ for Volume 2. God, man, such gas. So, we're actually doing another double with these next 2 movies. These next 2, let's relate it back to Kevin Smith for a second. Had no real desire to check out, but as I've gotten older, I do think my taste has changed, and what I appreciate and explore in filmmakers, about filmmakers, has extremely evolved. I'm not going to say that I was a bit more, I don't know, obtuse about art, but I definitely think that, like, I was swayed by mass opinion. And now, funny enough, people call me the contrarian when it comes to my takes. But when I say that, even considering the original Halloween and Halloween 2, the director's cuts are the best Halloween movies, this one I really like. I think if I rewatch it, I'll love it. It falls and loses steam when it tries to live in the shadow of the original. But the first hour is great. And again, like, I thought Rob Zombie was a filmmaker who just did things gratuitously for gratuitous sake, but I couldn't be any more wrong. I think the man is brilliant, and he's always saying something. It has been the biggest turnaround. The ending of this movie, and firstly, this film has 2 discs that talk about a byproduct or a product of an old era. This second disc has a documentary that is twice as long as the movie itself. We have strayed so far. But the ending of this movie is, to me, you put me on a game show and you say, hey, Cinephile ASMR, what are the top 5 craziest baller endings of all time? The way that Rob Zombie uses home video footage, I have never seen a filmmaker do before. Halloween 2, the director's cut. I cannot overstate that the director's cut is one of the greatest films I've ever seen. I doubled these back to back with my friend, and I could not believe the film that I was watching. There's very rare movies have felt as helpless as Halloween 2. I owe it so much breakup amidst life channeling me in all these different directions, funny enough, I found the most catharsis from Halloween 2. So Halloween is a B+. Halloween 2 is an A+. God, man, master strokes of genius. The next one, yet again, a row full of coincidences. We have The Hateful Eight. It actually kind of opens up, funny enough. If I can open it up. That's really sick. I think this movie's exceptional. I know, like, I haven't seen Django Unchained. As far as westerns go, it's up there. My three big kryptonites: seasonal films, take place during a season, bottled films, one location, or films that take place in one location. This is kind of all three of them. It's just actors who are so good at what they do, working in a confined space. And it's maybe Tarantino's best screenplay. Again, getting to see the road show and having the intermission, coming back into it. It felt like I was watching it for the first time. It's an A+. The monologue story that Samuel L. Jackson gives, oh, wow. Next is something that I am so grateful has a physical release. And if only, we could have been able to get the other show that is in my top 5 of all time. We have The Haunting of Hill House. I think in terms of horror, in terms of modern horror, no one is quite like Mike Flanagan. When I had first seen this show, I can almost remember like yesterday watching it and then finishing it and then showing my sister. Knowing what happened somehow made it even worse. I don't think there's many people that interweave emotion and despair and humanity and into the horror that they write like Mike Flanagan, with the caveat that I do think he works best when he is making longer form art. Like this, Midnight Mass changed my life. I think flourished like the smaller stuff. Gerald's Game is great, Doctor Sleep is great, but again, this is just next level stuff. Is it? Oh, I thought it was broken, but I still need it's still wrapped. But this Halloween, this fall, I'm gonna make it a point to do it, to watch it again. You guys are paying for my therapy bill. A+. So, what we have next, I don't have much to say. Heat. I'm actually going to, funny enough, in a couple days, go see one of his other films that I've never seen, a big blind spot for years. The Insider, the Russell Crowe, Al Pacino movie. I got again to see this movie in the theater, and that was a game changer. The screenwriting, the directing, the acting, it is like the movie of all time. Nothing really quite compares. Like, everything is just firing on cylinder after cylinder after cylinder. And I know people will say it's the quintessential LA movie. I think Collateral is. God, man, the look of that movie, but the look of this movie. If you've seen The Insider, let me know if I'm getting into anything good. I'm excited. It's an A+, guys. Like, I don't really have much that I could possibly say, but what an epic, a modern day epic. Great stuff. Next, we are double billing yet again. We have Hellboy, and we have Hellboy 2. Hellboy 1 is a great movie, a great time. It's an A for me. What I think holds the movie back just ever so is I do think the movie does feel like it has to abide by some sort of tether into not fully going weird or as refined of an image and a look and a feel like the Golden it's just slightly safe, like, again, from a character by the name of Hellboy. But above all, like, Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn, Tom Hiddleston as Loki, Ron Perlman is just as noteworthy of an actor to a character as he is to Hellboy. I don't think there will ever be anyone. It's a hard thing to adapt, but I owe my life so heavily to Hellboy too. It is the first memory I have watching a movie, and I vaguely, but ever so brightly remember seeing Hellboy 2 in theaters and being swept. It is excellent stuff. The first one's an A, the second one's an A+. Although, you know, is it my favorite Del Toro movie? I'm not sure. But it's the one that I will think about for the rest of my life. Next, we have a really wonderful slow burn thriller with actors who know what they're doing, albeit written by a really freaking annoying ass, like, oh my god. Hell or High Water. Taylor Sheridan just feels like ego as a person. Everything I've heard and seen him, despite knowing how to write some good thriller stuff, Sicario, this, Wind River, he just, aside from the point, really great slow burn thriller. I got nothing much to add. There's a great scene at a gas station in this. It's a B. B. Oh, alright. So the film that I think so many people will say is the scariest film they've ever seen, I think it's pretty scary. It's pretty great. Hereditary. I got not much to say about it. Toni Collette should have won the Oscar, should have been nominated, for God's sake. I think I like Midsommar more. It's really great. There are certain scenes, her in the corner, I just got goosebumps. The treehouse scene, the driving scene, it's great. I just think, like, again, everything he does in this movie, feature debut, What Are We Doing? It just feels improved in his follow-up. A- though. For a time, though, I agree it was the scariest movie I had ever seen. But then I saw Open Season 2. Now this next one, I will pay you money if you've ever seen. Because I don't think you have. And it's not even trying to say that in a pompous way. If you have, please let me know, because I need more followers here of this. Holy Motors. You want to talk about a movie that feels like a fever dream? I will not give anything away about this movie. But it's like 10 different movies wrapped into an hour and 40 minutes. I can't even really get a grasp of what it's about, but God, it is magnificent. Magnificent. If you've never seen it, you do not know what you're missing out on. A+, big time. Now this next one is going to break my heart, because yet I have all the stacks of movies here that I need to get through. I told myself I'm going to get through them. But I have never seen this, and I know I would love it. The 2005 House of Wax movie with Paris Hilton. I've never seen it. I want to. I've seen shots of it. I'm like, dude, that looks great. Let me know if I'm missing out. I don't have much to say because I've never seen it. So this next movie, it irritates me that this movie looks like it. Because, okay, look, alright, just hear me out. How to Train Your Dragon. Nice, fine. But then, look at this crap. Look at this freaking crap. Why does it say How to Train Your Dragon 1? Guys, like, what? What are we doing? Excellent stuff. Why there ever needed to be a live action will never not blow my mind. I've never seen it. I don't ever intend to. This is perfect. Absolutely perfect. It's up there with Kung Fu Panda 2 as like DreamWorks at its best. Shout out Rise of the Guardians too, by the way. Shout out Rise of the Guardians. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day we'll watch the live action, but this is perfection in my eyes. A+. Next, a movie, you know what, similar to Holy Motors. If anyone has ever seen this movie, please tell me, because I need more shooters for this film. Like, it really does kill me knowing that, like, people will go to their grave and not having seen this movie. We have The Humans. I talked about this. I've talked about this movie quite a bit. I actually talked about this as a comfort movie as well. Go check that video out. No film really exists quite like this. It's wonderful. It's sad. It's melancholic. Family together on Thanksgiving. All of them dissatisfied with where they're at, projecting that, hiding it, coming together. It was a play made into a movie by the playwright. It's shot by an Oscar-winning DP. The ending shot is one of my favorite ending shots of all time. A+. Let me know if you've ever seen it. Next, we have a very recent watch, actually, with David Bowie in it. A vampire movie, if you will, but one that is so much more than just blood-sucking. If you've ever seen The Hunger, it is a great movie, and yes, I did pay $30 for it. Yes, I do think it was worth the $30. Everyone talks about Tony Scott, kind of being in the shadow of Ridley Scott, his brother. No, I think he is the Scott brother, and it's so sad that he took his own life, because it's like, you kind of, like, you are learning about me in the past tense. I'm shooting this video, but by the time it is given to you, it has been shot. More things have happened in my life that you won't even know. Learning about a filmmaker in the past tense, especially after their life is gone, through the art that they tell, is like the privilege of a lifetime, because it's putting oxygen in the lungs that no longer breathe. God, if you're this far into the video, I'm getting philosophical, but yeah, great movie. A-. I love David Bowie. The Imitation Game. I don't have too much to say about it. I love Keira Knightley. Benedict Cumberbatch is so good. Truthfully, I haven't seen this since like 2014. That again was like the year that I really started to get into all the movies, especially through the Oscars. And I had just purchased this. It's good. B+. Now the last one we have here is such a fun movie, such a great concept, and I think it does execute it almost all perfectly well. A lot of people don't like this movie. I can get it. I think the lead actor is good in this. Again, just a great sci-fi time. In time. Justin Timberlake, the currency of this world is time. Obviously, the metaphor is in your face, but I do think there is such greatness to this. Roger Deakins shot it. I think it's written and directed by the guy who did, like, Gattaca. He's very, very talented. Yeah, Andrew Niccol. Yeah, such a fun movie. Doesn't always land. Justin Timberlake, I think, sometimes is acting in the wrong movie. And this, like, what I do coin as, like, a YouTube clips movie, where there are moments that feel like it's written to invoke a reaction. You could put it in 60 seconds, and someone will be like, oh, what's this? It's a great time, though. Like, I again, so many movies are trying to be, like, analyzed, but if they're great times, it's all that matters. It's a B. And there you have it, my friends. I'm maybe thinking this video is going to be over an hour and a half, and that was just A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, 8 letters. We're so good. Definitely thinking we're gonna have 2 more parts to this, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm glad you're able to spend this time with me. I really do appreciate it. I'm trying to be as consistent as possible, not just for algorithm's sake, but because it makes me feel good, and it makes me feel even better knowing that people respond to this. So, my friends, I'm gonna go edit this behemoth, and I'm gonna go fix myself a PB&J. I love you all. Let me know any and all of your thoughts down below. Let me know. My next video is going to be fun. It is an addition to a series that has been ongoing, but I'm very excited. I have a vision of what I want it to look like, and I think it's gonna work. So as always, my friends, I will catch you in the next video. But of course, remember,